The movie is Sinners, which was written and directed by Ryan Coogler. The film takes place in 1932 in southern Mississippi, following Sammy, an aspiring young musician who is recruited by his gangster twin cousins, Smoke and Stack, to play music in their recently purchased juke joint out in the countryside. Later on that evening, when the music is playing, drinks are flowing, and people are cutting it up on the dance floor, an evil and malevolent presence is attracted to the festivities, threatening the lives of everyone in the dance hall. This movie is a wild ride, with a lot packed into the 2 hour and 17-minute runtime. In some ways, it almost feels like it's three movies in one. There's the story of the gangster twin brothers, Smoke and Stack, both played by Michael B. Jordan, and they're returning to their hometown after a stint in Chicago, looking to start anew and leave the life of crime behind them. Then there's the story of Sammy, who's an incredibly gifted young musician, but his father, the local preacher, fears for his son's soul, given that the life of a musician has the potential to lead to some dark and sinful places. Those two stories intertwine until ultimately a third story emerges. Sinister vampires wreak havoc on the opening night of the juke joint, forcing Sammy and the twins into a fight for their lives. Ryan Coogler managed to come up with these three very cool stories and weaved each of them together well, culminating in an incredibly creative and original film. For me, the biggest strengths of this film were the music and dance aspects, the visuals and cinematography, and the production and costume design. The music was phenomenal. The film was scored by Ludwig Göransson, who has been a longtime collaborator with Ryan Coogler on films like Black Panther and Fruitvale Station, but he's also recently started working with Christopher Nolan on films like Oppenheimer and the upcoming adaptation of his Odyssey film. His impressive musical work earned him Oscars for Best Original Score in both Black Panther and Oppenheimer. And honestly, the music is so good in this movie, I wouldn't be surprised if he earned another Oscar for his work in Sinners. Music is central to the film's plot, and of course, with music comes dancing. And man, there were a lot of fantastic dance scenes in this movie, but there is one in particular that is one of the most creative and impressive scenes I've ever seen in a movie. People who have seen the film likely know exactly which scene I'm referring to because it is truly that extraordinary in really every way. And as I just mentioned, the crazy thing is there are a number of other dance sequences that are also amazing, like the one led by Jack O'Connell. After seeing this, I'm really hoping Ryan Coogler will eventually write and direct a musical, because I just can't even imagine how awesome that movie would be. Visually, this was the most ambitious and stunning film I've seen this year. Every shot was beautifully crafted, with masterful use of lighting and blocking, using as much natural light as possible, making the film feel super grounded in the time period, and causing many of the frames to look like pieces of art. Coogler chose to shoot the movie on film, and it makes a big difference in the way the movie looks and feels, and it's a major part of why it looks as good as it does. The production and set design of the film were really spectacular too. From the car that Smoke and Stack drive, to the storefronts in town, to the church that Sammy's father preaches at, and to the juke joint itself. They were all amazing. The whole thing felt very real and authentic to the 1930s, and I just really appreciated the level of detail put into it. Similarly, the costuming perfectly captured the era and also really helped to build the characters out in so many different ways. As far as acting goes, Michael B. Jordan, Miles Caton, Hailee Steinfeld, and Jack O'Connell had major standout performances for me, and I could not believe it when I found out that this was Miles Caton's first role in a feature film. I also really liked the design of the vampires, and particularly their eyes. That was a very cool addition that is totally unique to the version of vampires that are in the film. I will say I thought there were a few minor plot holes with some of the vampire stuff, but given that isn't really what the movie's about, I didn't have too much of an issue with that. I also wish we got even more of Sammy's music, as well as a little bit deeper dive on the backstory of Smoke and Stack, but I'm sure Coogler didn't want to make a 3 hour plus movie, so I get why that couldn't happen. This is a wildly creative movie that manages to pull off major accomplishments in film while having breathtaking visuals, sensational music coupled with awe-inspiring dance sequences, and impeccable costuming and production design. You can currently catch this movie in a wide variety of theatrical formats, including IMAX and 70mm projection, so I absolutely recommend going out and supporting this original film in theaters while you still can. So go watch Sinners. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, please share it with a friend, add a comment letting me know what you thought of this movie or what movie you think I should review next, and subscribe to my channel. I put out a movie review each week, so subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks, y'all.